Hello guys, welcome back to the EU West Challenger Series number 5. Day number 1, I am Dignitas Stress, joined by Metas, and we're going into the picks and ban phase for game number 2 between Heimerdingers Kaostv and Anexis Esports. And we saw some quite amazing stuff in that first game, but unfortunately it wasn't quite enough to save Anexis from having to surrender right at the end against Heimerdingers Kaostv. Metas, what do you think we're going to see here in the picks and bans of game number 2?
Well, that's a tough one, but we do see Zach being banned. And I said before that I assumed he'd be banned from Anexis. Actually, it's going to be I nearly call them Dragonborns. There we go. I finally got on board with that fail. But yeah, we are going to see from Heimerdingers Kaostv banning out Zach. So obviously they're feeling that Anexis will pick Zach up if he is open. He's a very strong character, can be played in jungle or the top. And Anexis have banned out fairly standard, pretty much the same as last time around. Zed and Kha'Zix, two assassin champions that like to jump in onto your backlines and just nuke down your AD carry or AP carry. So Rumble's also been taken out, was hit from a few tweaks recently in the patch, so not too sure about that one. But we are back over towards Anexis again for their third ban here. And what do they fear? Do they fear the Draven? Freeze's Draven was pretty awesome in the laning phase. They're going to go with the Draven ban.
I'm a little bit surprised by that, to be honest. I think Jace was a bit more of a problem than the Draven. But yeah, I'm not too sure why they do that. I guess if they allow a Draven lane to be swapped up to the top lane, then Draven's going to be quite good in that 2v1. But my stream hasn't quite caught up on this one yet, guys. I haven't quite seen the picks and bans yet. Do we have the 6th ban out yet?
We do, Thresh. So they've banned both of the duo lane at bot for Heimerdingers Kaostv last time around. Draven and Thresh have been eliminated. Twisted Fate was banned last time, has been left open this time around, and Selova will be picking that up for first pick. On the flip side, Heimerdingers Kaostv are going with the Jarvan once again, but this time adding a bit of spice and taking the Shen. So Molino probably on Jarvan with Shen at top for Yamato Cannon. That's my guess, but of course they can switch around.
Yeah, and it looks like essentially what Heimerdingers Kaostv have said here heading into Champion Select is we'll let them have Twisted Fate if they're going to give us Shen. If the picks and bans work out right, they can either ban out as the last ban, Thresh or Twisted Fate. If Shen's still available, we'll take Shen on our first pickup, we'll let them have Twisted Fate and then pretty much try and counter them in the mid lane as best as possible. So that's not exactly something surprising. We do see that fairly often out of teams, so a lot of global pressure already, and we're only 3 champions into the picks and bans.
Yes, and we have yet more global with Nocturne and Ezreal, so lots of global ultimates here from the team of Anexis. Wooliter, after that beautiful Baron steal, I think he has a right to feel fairly confident on the Ezreal right now, so he is going to be playing that one again. The ganking potential from both Selova and Overpower here is just massive. Paranoia and Destiny could very well come towards the bot lane, so I would expect to see an AD carry picked up that has an escape to try and get rid of those global ultimates, and we are going to have the Corki pick up, so that makes a lot of sense to me. The Valkyrie, of course, can escape. Corki is one of those ADs that I don't believe we've seen one time in the US Challenger Series thus far, Stress. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember seeing a great deal of him.
Off the top of my head, I'm gonna say we haven't seen him, but that may end up being not entirely true. If he was played in weeks 1 and 2 before I was actually on the cast with you guys, I'm a little bit surprised by the Corki. I mean, he's seen a drop-off in play recently after Season 3 patch came out, had problems with his mana. Zyra's actually going to get locked in, and I'm starting to favour the Anexis team composition in this game a lot more than I was in the last game. And I'm not sure whether we will see that Trundle pickup, but we'll see what they lock in for their top laner. But I'm liking Anexis' team composition this time around.
Yeah, they have gone for the Trundle. So Xaxis on Trundle, going to be facing off against Shen or Jarvan, although I assume it's going to be Shen. They have a Fiora, but they're not going to lock that in, surely. I would be amazed to see a Extinct playing Fiora in mid. I would love to see it, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen. The Zyra pick makes a lot of sense, because at level 6, the ganking potential plus the grasping roots and stranglethorns from Zyra is just going to be unbelievable. Even though Corki does have the Valkyrie, if he's locked in the roots, there is nothing he can do to escape that. He hasn't got a cleanse, so he's gone for barrier. If he gets caught in the grasping roots, watch for Nocturne and TF to try and chime together and pop down the bot lane. Of course, it has to be predetermined. They don't have the complete global ultimates anymore. They do have range. But yes, Extinct has switched over their stress from the potential Fiora pick, which I would have personally loved, but he's gone with Fizz. And we've seen Fizz picked a lot in the US Challenger Series to counteract Twisted Fate. It is a hard counter. With a playful Trickster, it's hard for Telever here to actually land his wild cards or his pick a card onto Fizz, because he can just keep jumping up, and Extinct's actually picked up the teleport, so he is going to be a global threat as well. Very smart to pick teleport when you're against the Twisted Fate, because whenever Twisted Fate goes towards bot lane, for example, you can teleport down there yourself, but you also have your Martel Cannon stand Unite, so they can actually turn around a gank pretty well here, Heimerdingers Colossi.
Now, I'm not too sure about this Trundle pick, to go back to it. I mean, surely when playing on blue side, you kind of have to expect the lane swap from the red side team. And picking a champion like Trundle, who we haven't seen all that much in 2v1s, is a little bit of an enigma, but he is a melee range champion, and that can kind of lend itself away from those 2v1s. We'll see how his kit kind of borrows itself to keeping alive in that 2v1 and how well he can farm if it is indeed a 2v1 lane. But that's just something I thought was a little bit interesting, considering Shen is pretty much tried and tested in those 2v1 lanes.
That's very true, and it's not something I've seen a great deal of. Obviously, Xaxis feels confident enough to go ahead with that. We haven't mentioned the Cataclysm Crescendo combination as well, which is going to be so huge if Heimerdingers Colossi can land that on top of the taunt as well, and the Chum the Waters coming in from Fizz at the backside. But, ladies and gents, we have about 2 minutes or thereabouts remaining on the delay, so we're going to cut to a very quick commercial break. When you rejoin us, we'll be live in game number 2 between Heimerdingers Colossi and Anexis. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Hello my lovelies, welcome back to Kaostv live coverage of the US Challenger Series number 5. This is the second best of 3 between Heimerdingers Colossi and Anexis. Game number 2, game 1 went to a Heimerdingers Colossi, albeit somewhat difficult at the end. But I met this joined by Dignitas Stress and we are live into game 2 Stress. Do you think Anexis can bring this one back?
I do indeed, but it doesn't look like they're going to go for a lane swap by their positioning, so we get to see Trundle in the 1v1 lane, which I'm hearing rumours from people on solo queue that Trundle's actually fairly strong right now, so that'll be an interesting one to watch out. And Anexis do somewhat have their work cut out for them, so yeah, we'll see as this game goes on.
Yeah, I feel that Trundle is a deceptively strong character. His Subjugate, which is his ultimate, is going to make him very tanky and do a fair amount of damage as well. So it's definitely going to be one to watch out for. And obviously we do have Yamato Cannon on Shen, so he's going to be top lane. Maluno on Jarvan in the jungle. And meanwhile, of course, Nocturne on Overpower is going to be going up against him. So last time around, Overpower did die for First Blood, got caught in around the blue buff of his jungle. Of course, the roles have been reversed here. Last time around, they were on the purple team. This time, hasn't been caught and is going to be taking Wolves first, followed up by blue, I would assume, and then trying to put some pressure wherever he so pleases. So, we're talking about the compositions before this game. A lot of global presence from both sides here, Stress, and it's just going to come down to who has the better communication and execution.
Yeah, and I love this type of game where there are 1 or 2, maybe even 3, as in this case, champions that have such big effect on the game from such a large range. Although it does somewhat drive our production a little crazy because you have to keep on top of everything as everybody starts hitting level 6, but it makes for a much more exciting game, a little bit less farmy when you see people going all around the place. And Extinct and Celiva are going to be trading a lot in this game, as we mentioned in Champion Select. Fizz is pretty good at reducing a lot of the damage that Twisted Fate can do in lanes. So once Celiva hits level 6, he's going to try and pick up kills in other lanes, just as Twisted Fate always does.
Yeah, I apologise in advance if I call Trundle's pillar the Pillar of Filth, because that's what I'm used to before his remake. It's now called the Pillar of Ice. We do actually have a taunt. Speaking of Xaxis, he's taking a lot of damage here from Yamato Cannon. He's going to bite him off and will ghost away. So his escape has been popped down here, although the Pillar of Ice. Meanwhile, bot lane, you have Corki going very aggressively. We are going to have First Blood from Zyra. Now going to be going on towards Freeze. This could be a massive pickup. Double kill coming in from Anexis. And Leo from Korea is going to be carrying this bot lane very, very hard. So early 2-0 and Anexis starting strong.
Yeah, and it's going to allow them to push on towards the turret. I'm wondering whether Freeze, he did have Valkyrie as well, so I didn't quite catch what happened in that bottom fight all that much, but Flash, Valkyrie, and Barrier used by Freeze. So, you know, they fought a lot for that one. I'm just catching it on the side screen that I have, and Celiva's trying to push the wave in to Extinct as much as possible, but you can see how far back behind the wave he's having to sit, because if Extinct decides to go aggressive with that Playful Trickster, he can jump on top of Celiva so quickly and put down a lot of damage that it's a little bit difficult to deal with.
Yeah, well, we're talking about Extinct being a hard counter to Celiva here, but he is a level behind at the moment. He has just managed to equal that one up. And having a quick look at the summoner spells, all 4 were burnt at bot lane, so there are no summoner spells up and available just yet. We do have well, we had a potential gank with Maluno hiding in the bush, but he is going to pull himself back. There was a ward down there. Going to be taking his double golems. You can see pings at the bot lane, as Zyra has already finished off her Sightstone, so looking very strong for her. Going to be putting some more damage on towards Freeze. Willett takes a fair amount of punishment, though, with the Phosphorus Bomb landing square between his eyes. And it's going to be at a bit of a standstill, but this is exactly what I feel Anexis needed. After that first loss was to just steady the ship and kind of get that confidence on Willett to back up, because he played really well in the last game.
Yeah, Mithy's going to take a lot of damage. Actually, it looks like Wallace is going to pick up a kill for himself. Mithy just overstepping the mark a little bit. And Freeze is now taken quite low as well. Teleport is coming in. It is Fizz. Here comes Extinct. Going to manage to get that Playful Trickster. Looks like Wallace, he's actually going to pick up a kill at the back. And Extinct, while he is going to pick up the kill, I would think, onto Wallace. Yes, he does go down. They would not have liked to have dropped another 2 kills in that bottom lane.
Dude, I'm a bit speechless here, because Fizz just let Corki die. I mean, I assumed that he was thinking that Freeze had that in the bag without any problems, but he basically just left Corki alone to chase down Zyra, who ended up not dying anyway. So I feel that he should have ensured the kill went down before trying to chase anybody else. That's going to give Ezreal another kill, and he's now picked up a Bilgewater Cutlass to the 2 Doran's Blades of Corki. So he's got a lot more lifesteal, he's going to be doing a lot more damage, and Freeze is in a precarious position already.
Yeah, and 4-1 with that teleport down. Twisted Fate. Sorry, 4-1 overall for the team. I'm not trying to say that Twisted Fate's at 4-1 at all. But Twisted Fate's going to hit level 6 fairly soon. So as soon as he hits level 6, he is going to be able to use that Destiny. Extinct's teleport is down from that teleport down to the bottom lane, so he's not going to be able to follow up. It's pretty much going to all be on Stand United to come out and cross the map. But with Nocturne around as well, Paranoia is going to close just, enough distance for a pretty sneaky lane gank. Nocturne's obviously to get somewhat of a distance reduction, and it feels a little bit shorter now than maybe it should be, but still has quite a lot of range to cross, so expect to see that happen around about level 6 for Celeber.
I was honestly feeling that the strength and the power plays from Anexis, hold the thought for a second, we do have a bit of action towards top lane. I'm going to keep half an eye on that. But I was expecting that Anexis' power spike was going to come at level 6 when you had the Destiny, the Paranoia, the True Shot Barrage, the Stranglethorns all up and raring to go. But if anything, it's been the complete opposite. They've been dominating this early period, and I feel a bit worried for Heimerdingers Colossi, because if the bot lane, for example, is already crushing Freeze and Mithy this hard already, when you add in the global pressure of Twisted Fate and Paranoia, they could very well actually just tower dive. They could go to the back lines of the tower and just be like, okay, we don't care, we're going to pick you both up, take Drake, and then just basically stamp our authority all over this game. So this is a bit of a head-scratcher for me.
Yeah, Leo from Korea and Wallace are doing a great job in this lane of putting damage onto either Mithy or Freeze whenever they step just a little bit out of line. And that's really what's been keeping this bottom line in check. You can see Mithy steps forward to put a little bit of harassment down, but takes a Mystic Shot for his troubles, and that doesn't always end up trading out in favor of Sona, and they're able to zone them away from this minion wave fairly well. There is the Grasping Root's not quite going to land, but Freeze takes a shot from that plant. And again, they're just landing consistent damage in the harassment.
Yeah, very true. And again, we mentioned it before about, the CC that Leo from Korea will be bringing with Zyra. What we didn't say is the damage as well. Zyra, alongside a support like Elise, does quite a bit of damage without needing a great deal of ability power. The plants as well are just a constant harassment, constant factor for you to think about. So definitely one to watch out for. Jovan is going to be donating this blue towards Extinct. Some pings going down from the purple team of Heimerdingers Colossi into the opposition jungle. Not sure if they're going to try and make a play here. Ezreal is just consistently brute forcing his way forward. He is bullying so hard. Stranglethorns has been popped off, narrowly missing Mithy. The True Shot Barrage goes through as well. Both of them do miss though. So that's 2 ultimates down, and maybe this is the time where Maluno comes to strike as Jarvan.
Yeah, and I was watching that a little bit, and you saw Freeze actually took a Mystic Shot and auto attack, then got Essence Fluxed as well, and the second auto attack, all before he even managed to react with anything and get behind the lane. In the mid lane, however, Extinct is dropped very low. Sorry, nearly missed that. Celeber will pick up the kill in exchange for that. I wasn't quite looking at it on stream. Paranoia has been popped. Here comes in the tower dive on towards Maluno and Freeze. There has been a pause by Mithy under this tower. So apparently Freeze is disconnected.
That is unfortunate timing, because look at Overpower. He is in their grill right now. He is underneath the tower. This isn't particularly a great pause for Anexis either, though, because Overpower, I actually feel, has overextended here, and he didn't quite give the respect that Maluno deserves. He just jumped in on towards Maluno, probably assumed that he'd be popped down in an instant, and he's still alive. And now he's actually turned around to run back from the tower, taking shots. He has the aggro from the tower as well. So I just wonder if he has overextended here. Remember, True Shot Barrage is down. Stranglethorns are down. They have neither of those CC or damage ultimates at their disposal. They've also popped the exhaust on towards Freeze, who's DC'd anyway. He hasn't quite hit level 6, but I feel when this unpause comes over, this could be bad news for Anexis.
Yeah, but Overpower does have its flash available, so we will be able to escape this. If they do decide to disengage, Extinct has unpaused the game. We're about to get ready. Maluno's falling back behind the tower. It looks like both teams, for a second, were about to disengage, but Winter actually gets his turned around on him. Freeze not quite as low as they thought they'd taken him before. So we had that middle trade, 1-for-1, and then a dive, but nobody ended up falling yet in that bottom lane. Maluno is hanging around. Mithy's still on fairly high health, hasn't quite hit level 6. How far away? About 3/4 of a level, so no crescendo anytime soon.
Yeah, but Nocturne survived on 10 health, had to pop his flash, as you said before, and so they've popped some summoner spells and a paranoia to boot, so that was a bit of a misplay, I have to feel, from Anexis. In mid lane, it was a 1-for-1 trade, but you did get the assist coming in from Yamato Cannon Shen, because he popped the Standy Knight onto Fizz a bit too late at the end, still died from the tower, but even though he got the assist, his ultimate is still down, and it has a fairly long cooldown. We do have more pressure at bot lane. Twisted Fate has now joined the fight, and this bot tower should be falling very soon. It's on extremely low health. The creep wave is just going to die, but there is another one right here. So, yeah, this bot tower will be falling. That's going to give Anexis a bit of breathing space at bot lane and watch them try and pick up a Drake in a foreseeable future. In fact, they may very well go for it now. No, they're not. They're going to recall at bot.
Yeah, they aren't quite aware of the ward situation here, and with no pink wards, they don't really want to push for it all that early. They might even have an indication that Maluno has a pink on him as well. But yeah, wouldn't have been the safest of dragon calls on paper when you think about it, and you know what they say about paper. Trundle and Shen going back to trading up in that top lane. Trundle's actually not doing all that badly against Shen. Really, the only thing that's happened in that lane is you got that one assist on to Shen from earlier, and Zaxis is actually going to go aggressive. Yamato Cannon fairly tanky with that giant spell and the chain vest, whereas Trundle's building towards damage with a Bilgewater Cutlass. There's the wards out onto Dragon out by Mithy. Apparently Freeze is having some FPS problems. That is indeed the case, so that led to that pause. And Sona has picked up that pink ward, so when they see a ward go down on the side of Anexis, they will go to pink ward. That up in the top lane, Destiny has been used. There's the taunt. Yamato Cannon is going to get dropped very low. The teleport is coming in as well from Extinct. Zaxis is going to try and run away. Extinct's teleport was a little bit late, but he is going to catch on for the Chum the Waters. As the wild cards is going to take Maluno fairly low, but not really able to catch on. So not a late teleport after all.
That's what I'm talking about, Trundle. He was at about a quarter HP, and Yamato was like, okay, this should be a pretty simple kill. Then Subjugate was popped from Trundle, plus the Destiny. They actually picked up the kill. And as you said, forced the teleport and the Chum the Waters from Fizz. That's going to allow them to pick up Drake at bot lane. So overall, very, very well played from Anexis. Global presence once again coming out strong. And the main strength of Zaxis here on Trundle is going to be in team fights. His Pillar of Ice, if placed perfectly, is going to make kills happen. But it's similar to the Crystallize or the Cataclysm in the aspect that if you mess the pillar up, it can actually work to your detriment. We do have an ultimate from Shen coming on towards Celiver here. He's trying his best, but he is going to fall. And again, the global presence reigns supreme. That's going to give them a bit more presence at top lane. Meanwhile, at bot lane, we actually have Ezreal killing Corki. Now going to be going to the second kill from Mithy. We'll be picking that one up. And Willet is having a blinder of this best of 3 so far, Stress. 4-1 already. Looking a lot stronger than Corki's on 0 for 3.
Yeah, Wallet is actually impressing me quite a lot here. I mean, he was one of the changes that Anexis made, and Anexis were a fairly strong team beforehand, and even though the scoreline doesn't quite say it with the 1-0 game lead for Heimerdingers Colossi right now, Anexis are looking still really good in this game, and they looked fairly good in the last game as well. It's never really been all that much of a stomping. And that's just a sign that Anexis maybe are, pretty confident with this pickup. They're obviously playing him in a tournament situation. They do have to be careful though, because Maluno's on his way up top. He has crossed the ward's asses. He's going to actually pop Ghost and go aggressive. He knows that Maluno is there. The Paranoia might come out from Nocturne. He is trying to get in range, but as I said, that's not the largest range of abilities, and Destiny wasn't off cooldown either. So, Anexis go aggressive, but Heimerdingers Colossi let them get away with it for now. They had crossed a lot of wards over in that jungle though.
Man, you have to love the little slugger Trundle skin here. When he puts his Pillar of Ice down, it is a gigantic trophy landing on your face. So, a bit of extra troll there from Trundle. They have picked up the top tower though. I'm going to continue to push you. I'm going to be engaging again in the mid lane. This time, Ezreal is going man mode, 1 versus 2 situation. Probably not what he wanted, but he is very strong right now with the Spirit of the Elder Lizard and a Bilgewater Cutlass. We have Fizz recalling around the Wraiths. The top tower has also been taken, so overpowers Axis and Sullivan are like, okay, well, we can see that some of Heimerdingers Colossi are out of position here. Let's just push that second tower. Fizz is going to be going down very short. He does pick up the kill on towards Ezreal. Here comes the Destiny and the Strangle and the Grasping Roots, I should say, sorry, to pick up the kill. So Zyra's on 3-0 right now and looking quite strong.
Yeah, Destiny used, but didn't actually pick up the assist on that one, so not what Celeber would have been wanting, although I'm quite surprised that the vision from Destiny didn't provide some sense of an assist on that one, but Celeber and co are going to back away from that mid tower. Picking up 2 towers in that top lane is very, very important for Anexis. That now opens up the map, allows them to control these mid-game objectives such as the Dragon, because the more they can push on into that top lane, you can see True Shot Barrage is on its way up there to clear through a bit of the wave as well, so they're trying to keep that wave as pushed as possible so that they open up the Dragon Pit every time they want to do it. And it's actually Dragon is due up at 1752, so if they can keep that lane pushed, that really is going to look good for them when they can start to look to take that dragon.
Sorry guys, my derp, I forgot to skip to live after the pause, so I was a couple seconds behind the game there, so I apologise. I have rectified that problem though. So we are going to have Anexis again just being bosses, pushing down the mid tower. Crescendo has landed. Here comes the Extinct from the side as well. Lots of damage being placed down. Cataclysm on Woolader's face. The taunt from the side as well. Woolader's extremely strong to last this long, but not strong enough to pick up any kills. Now the Chum the Waters has been popped on towards Axis. Can he escape? Oh, the missile narrowly missing there from Freeze. Going to be jumping on towards Caliver. Zaxis is still somehow alive. Manages to survive that last Vorpal Blade courtesy of Shen. Twisted Fate goes down as well, but that missile barrage should have claimed the kill onto Zaxis. Very, very close, but that was a 4-for-1 exchange, and Heimerdingers Colossi are bouncing back with a vengeance.
Yeah, now they've started to turn their game up just a little bit. After the first 4 deaths very early on, it looks like Freeze is starting to bounce back, as you said, in this game. Although he didn't pick up a kill in that exchange, has pulled up to 107 CS to the 101. Of course, he is still a significant way behind in gold. Has actually picked up a tier of the Goddess, so this is something that we haven't seen all that much on Corki. And obviously, every time he uses those the Rocket Barrage, that's going to tick up the tier of the Goddess, but Corki does struggle with mana, so that's a very interesting pickup to me to see. I would assume he's going to end up looking for a Mirror Mana with that, so building for a very late game Corki build here.
Yeah, obviously feeling confident in his teammates to carry him forward towards a late game, and then Freeze will be doing a lot of damage. We're going to have him putting down some serious pain on towards Willett here. Freeze is trying his best to pick up the kill. Here comes Extinct from the side, going to be popping him down instantly. Corki importantly picks up that kill. That's his first of the game so far, so that's going to go some way towards picking up extra items. And yeah, Williter was caught. He was 4-1. I even remember mentioning that Williter 4-1 at bot lane, now 4-4. So the last few minutes have not been pleasant for Ezreal, and Corki is starting to regain some of his momentum here. Also, if Corki can get the Bloodthirster and the Mana Moon, he's going to be doing a lot of damage. So that's one to watch out for as the game progresses. But as you say, it's very much late game orientated.
Yeah, and right now they don't really need Freeze with extra damage. It would be lovely for Freeze to have a lot of damage, but right now a 7-2 Fizz with the Lichbane, Sorcerer's Boots, and I'm gonna guess it's not even started to be stacked on the Seeker's Arm. Paranoia's got on towards Mithy. There's a Crescendo. It's actually going to land onto Xaxis as well. Ultimate from Zyra is going to try and knock him up. Xaxis is actually going in there. Extinct, trying to find any damage that he can. Maluno forced out using the Damascus Stand. Flash back over with the Cataclysm. Celeber has the gold card lock. Can he catch on towards the fight? Is going to land it on towards Extinct. They aren't going to be able to get away with the Playful Trickster. And just as I was starting to say that they could have used, a little bit. It didn't really need quite so much damage out of Corki. They do end up dropping that one, but meanwhile, in the top lane, Yamato Cannon is taking that tower down. So they'll trade a few kills and a dragon in favor of a turret. And kind of comes out almost equal there.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say worth it from Anexis until I saw, Yamato Cannon pinging down the top tower. So, obviously, Drake will be respawning. Towers do not respawn. And a 1-for-2 on top of that with a lot of ultis burnt in the process. But important to mention that they actually got the shutdown gold on towards Extinct, 500 gold in their back pocket, which is going to be a nice boost there. So Twisted Fate has managed to pick up a Rabron's Death Cap, building towards his Sheen as well, more than likely going to a Lich Bane after that. Fairly standard core items on Twisted Fate. And you do have 2 Blade of the Ruined Kings coming out here from Anexis as well. One for Trundle and one also for Ezreal. So quite interesting. Trundle does very often build a Blade of the Ruined Kings. Of course, it's going to keep him alive longer. He likes the attack speed on top of his... I'm going to have a look at this because I can't remember what it's called. His Frozen Domain, where he gets the additional attack speed on top of that. So he is doing a lot of damage and just consistent damage. He is beating you over the face with a baseball bat, and there's not a great deal you can do about it.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a client bug on the spectator computer. The outer tower is down as well as the inner on the red side in the top lane. I just started the stream up for myself just to check that, and yeah, there is a little bit of a strange bug where it's still showing the outer tower still alive, but I assure you that it is down. 3 Blade of the Ruined Kings on the side of Nexus.
Wow.
So it feels like we're a couple of months back when the Blade of the Ruined King was pretty much able to be built on anyone and would be amazing. Still very good item, but not quite seen in this this frequently in one game. That's a lot of Blade. There must have been quite a few Ruined Kings.
I would agree. There must have been a plethora of Ruined Kings, and maybe we're going to get Black Cleavers afterwards. We'll be back to, the League of Cleavers. I don't know what's going to happen, but a lot of Ruined Kings. You also have a Giant's Belt on top of Trundle. He hasn't bothered to finish off his second tier of boots there, which is quite interesting. The Ezreal does try to steal away the blue buff. Not going to manage to do so, though, this time around. Harkens back. In fact, the top lane, we do have Xanthus going extremely low. He will fall, caught again. And that's one of the downsides about using Ghost rather than Flash, is you can't escape the Jarvan Cataclysm with the Ghost. It's simply not possible. But Anexis are going to force the mid tower down, so a kill for a mid tower definitely works. Crescendo comes in though, so they're actually going to try and turn this one around. The Shen standing United has been put towards Maluno. He uses the flag and drag. Stranglethorns have been used out very, very effectively. Knocks both Freeze and Maluno up, trying to put some damage down towards Yamato Cannon, who does manage to escape. Here comes the Chum Orders onto Leo from Korea. Best possible situation if it's going to land to take the support down. But you do actually have the passive killing Corki there, I believe. I didn't quite catch that, but Syra does pick up the AD carry. So that was a 1-for-1 exchange and a lot of damage in the mid.
Oh wow, Monitor just gets destroyed by Extinct. Has to be careful to avoid. It wasn't a gold card, doesn't matter. Celeber will pick up the kill from the extra damage from the red card. Now, one reason why they might have these Blade of the Ruined Kings, and it might tie into this Trundle composition as well, is they're going to be able to do Baron very, very quickly with 3 Blade of the Ruined Kings and that added damage from Chomp, and what I'm going to imagine, will be a Lich Bane out of Twisted Fate as well. So they're going to be able to get through Baron so quickly.
That's a very, very good point, which I honestly wasn't even considering, but yeah, definitely, 100%. When you have 3 Blade of the Ruined Kings plus the Frozen Domain on Trundle, Baron is going to go down extremely fast. And there's not going to be a great deal that Heimerdingers Colossi can do about that if they're caught out of position. If one of them goes towards bot lane for even a split second, you could see Anexis just jumping on top of Baron. That being said, though, you do have his stand United, so Shen is going to be able to split push when it's up. You do have a teleport as well on Extinct, so they're going to have to pick the right moment to actually strike on towards Baron, or things could get very messy, because Chum the Waters, of course, is a beautiful AoE ultimate, and if you have everybody in the Baron pit and a Chum the Waters lands, that's going to be pretty... well, it's going to be devastating, to put it mildly. Overpower is chasing after Extinct here, alongside Williter, who is just actually going to farm himself up from 4-1 to 4-5. So he had a great early game, but the mid game has been a bit painful from his perspective. They're going to be coming back towards bot lane again on Extinct. In the meantime, we're going to have the rest of the Heimerdingers Colossi lineup, just kind of occupying mid and top, but nothing quite kicking off just yet, although it looks like Overpower is lurking in the shadows, waiting for something to happen. There we go, Paranoid has been popped off, but Extinct instantly going to play full tricks to his way out of that one. Look at the damage coming down from Blade of the Ruined King. He's going to do so much damage on towards Woolader. Can he pick up this kill? It's going to be so close. He does take down the kill. Here comes Twisted Fate from the side using his Destiny. It's going to be slightly wrong. Crescendo through the wall. Beautiful play there. Here comes Nocturne again on towards Extinct. Finally gets his man. But wow, Extinct, that was some awesome play. Clinic, they're going to be jumping on towards Maluno now, flagging and dragging his way around. But Extinct is quite awesome on that Fizz.
Once again, though, over in the top lane, there's Yamato Cannon pushing away. Has that Sunfire Cape. Has had it for a while. There is still a fight going on in the bottom lane, so let's not really pay all that much attention to top lane right now. Is Trundle is returning up there. Maluno gets stunned under the tower. There's the stand United. So Shen finally called out. Overpower is caught in the Cataclysm. There's the knockup from Zyra. Are they going to be able to chase this one away? No. Anexis just running too quickly away from this.
Yeah, and all those kills early game has allowed Zyra to pick up a fairly early Shirelia's Reverie alongside the Ruby Sightstone. So there's a massive discrepancy between these two supports. Here comes Jarvan from the side. Extinct is very fast. He's picked up the Home Guard boots, and that's going to be a very dead Sulliver. He tries his best to get something in return, but not going to happen. So smart idea from Extinct to go, okay, I've got teleport. I'm very fed right now, doing a lot of damage. Let's pick up the Home Guard boots, so when I do come in, I'm going to be doing even more terror factor to the opposite team. Iwata Cannon actually got caught from the True Shot Barrage, but it's not going to be enough to take him down. Going to be recalling. Meanwhile, the trophy has landed on top of Extinct, but he's just going to play full tricks to his way out of dodge. And it's looking like a very close game here, Stress. Just about 2k gold in it, 3-3 towers, 15-17 on kills. And I'm looking forward to the climax of this game for sure.
Now, Heimerdingers Colossi are coming back into this one somewhat. You can see that picking up now Dragon again. They're picking themselves up global objectives when they can, but they're stacking a lot of gold on towards Fizz. And while, yes, he's able to take out Wooliter from that team fight, if the rest of Anexis can take out Extinct, that removes a lot of the damage from Heimerdingers Colossi. So they have to be careful that Extinct doesn't get taken out all that much. He has great evasion with Playful Trickster, with that Zhonya's Hourglass as well, so he's fairly difficult to kill, but they do have to be wary that he's not removed from the fight quickly.
We do have Paranoia at the top lane, plus the Destiny as well, so Yamato Cannon should be falling down here. Gold card has landed, but he's so tanky. He's got the Sunfire Cape and the Phage, trying his best to escape, finally get shut down from Nocturne. And yeah, Freeze and also Extinct are going to go back. Just to go back to the point you mentioned before, very true once again, that you have to feel, if Fizz gets taken down early in a team fight, if something happens and he gets caught, there's not a great deal of damage to back him up. Yes, Corky's finally picked up the Manamune and also the Bloodthirster, but still, when you consider that it's 26.5 minutes through the game, that's not going to do a colossal amount of damage. When you consider that Ezreal has his Last Whisper, his Spirit of the Elder Lizard, and his Blade of the Ruined King, he is going to be stronger than Corky in a straight-up fight. But that being said, Extinct has a lot of great escaping tools. Wooliter could be caught. IHM the Waters has landed, but a beautiful trophy. Straight back, it chunks down at least 50% of his health. He's been forced to flash away. Here comes a True Shot Barrage, going to be cutting through Freeze, but nothing else. So someone that has been popped on Wooliter, and he is going to be easier pickings now in the next team fight.
Yeah, I don't think Extinct was actually expecting the Chun Waters to hit. It looked like it was just going to fall short, and Wooliter actually just ended up being clipped by it, but Extinct actually forced to use his Zhonya's there, so if there's a fight very soon, they might be able to remove Extinct from the fight fairly quickly, but Wooliter was forced back, so it doesn't really go in the advantage of Anexis all that much. Shen down in that bottom lane is going to start pushing it through, does have Stand United available, and Anexis will know that as well. Trophy doesn't quite land on towards Extinct. Looks like Heimerdingers Colossi are going to back away from this.
Yeah, Destiny and Paranoia are still off cooldown. They were used in conjunction to pick up the Yamato Cannon kill at top, but they're going to be off cooldown relatively soon. True Shot Barrage as well, so pretty much 3 ultimates are going to be coming off cooldown around the same time. As you said, Stay Night is still up for Shen, so he's happy to split push until Nexus actually force something to happen, and he's going to be happy to do this all day long. He doesn't care a great deal about what else is going on the map. He's just going to get a call in his ear like, can you ultimate me please? And suddenly then he's going to be back into the fray. But that being said, he is down on this bot tower. Twisted Fate is starting to move towards him alongside Fizz. Channel Ward's been used. Televet is going to go down instantly. Here comes the Paranoia though from the side actually from Overpower. Going to be focusing on towards Yamato Cannon. Trundle from the side. Yamato Cannon is going to be falling, but can they pick up the kill on towards Extinct? Beautiful trophy has been placed again from Zax. It's going to be chasing after him, doing a lot of slowing here. The Sonny's Hourglass has been popped again, just delaying the inevitable. In fact, is it because he's managed to get himself away with Playful Trickster? I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to survive for. Jumping on towards the minions. Playful Trickstering through the wall. Again, this is the great escape, ladies and gents, and I think he's going to get away with it. True Shot Barrage is down. Destiny is up, but Kellever is still dead. And somehow, someway, Extinct lives to fight another day. What a slippery fish he turned out to be.
Extinct. That's almost as bad as when somebody's chasing a Singed. In fact, probably more infuriating for the Anexis guys. He just managed to get over that Golem wall and gets himself out of there, and I think Anexis are going to be very, very unhappy about that, considering at the same time there was an instant reaction from Mithy. I believe it was Mithy, Maluno, and Freeze. Just said, right, get the tower in the mid lane. They take down the inner mid tower, get themselves a global objective, and that's what I'm talking about. Is Heimerdingers Colossi, every time they see some kind of way of getting themselves back into this game, end up taking it somehow or another.
Well, man, I need to regain some breath because we've had it all so far in this best of 3. We've had epic True Shot Barrage Baron steals. We've had the great escape from Extinct, who I'm still not sure how he managed to survive that. Just beautiful play. But still, it's a very, very close game. Anexis may be a bit peeved about that one, but they're still very well rounded in this matchup and could still take it. You do have Leo from Korea with the Oracles, going to be trying to clear out some wards. In fact, Scumbag Ward, it just expired as she's about to kill it, so not going to be happening that time. They're going to clear out the next ward, though, that Sona puts down. Sullivan, in the meantime, is just peeking his way, waiting for somebody to poke up. Fizz is pushing bot very aggressively, but he has the teleport up. So again, this is really nice play from Heimerdingers Colossi. When Shen has Stand United available, he's going to split push. When Extinct has the teleport available, he's going to split push. And nobody right now in their right frame of mind wants to go 1v1 against Extinct, because he is going to pummel you into the ground.
Yeah, and I'm quite surprised that it was Wooliter that actually went for the reaction. Yes, he has Nocturne around. Overpower does have Paranoia available as well, but we've been seeing Extinct take Wooliter out of this game faster than anybody can react, and I'm a little bit surprised that that was the reaction they went with, and also that Extinct didn't quite find the angle he would have wanted on it. But Wooliter now sat on that Spirit of the Elder Lizard, Spirit of the Elder Lizard, Last Whisper, and Blade of the Ruined King. Lots of item names there, but he's very nearly at that point of where Blue Build Ezreal really is reaching his peak. The next item he's going to finish is that Glacial Shroud for that Iceborne Gauntlet. How much gold is he carrying right now? Only about 700, so doesn't really have enough to finish anything significant right now, but when he gets that, they're going to be able to control these team fights a lot better. Between the slow from the Pillar of Ice and that Iceborne Gauntlet proc, as well as the gold cards and the Fear Tethers from Nocturne, they have so much on top of that Zyra ult that is going to be able to hold people in place for that team fight. But the question is, can Anexis get it all off before Fizz is able to just decimate their backline?
And something else that we haven't mentioned so far is we did say previously, I want to say it was about 15-20 minutes ago, that they're trying to stall this one out for Corki to get his Muramana, to get the items that he needs, because he had a very weak opening. In fact, hold that thought, because we could potentially have a Baron. They can see Fizz at bot lane, so I'll get back to that point a bit later on, but you are going to have Heimerdingers Colossi congregating very quickly. Fizz has killed the tower, now going to be coming in. We are going to have an epic fight kicking off here, but they have picked up the Baron. Now going to be turning on towards Mithy. Lands the gold card, Cataclysm on the back lines, but Ezreal is just going to Arcane Shift out of that one. So far it is a 1-for-1 exchange. All action breaking loose here. Yamato Cannon is being attacked from Ezreal, while Freeze is just basically staying at the back lines, doing as much damage as possible. The Fear Tether has landed there, so Corki is not long for this world. Destiny has been popped behind him. That's going to be a 3-for-1 exchange with Jarvan incredibly low alongside Fizz, so they picked up the Baron, get a 1-for-3, looking extremely good for Anexis right now. What I was going to say before is that with all the split pushing that's been going down, they were allowing Corki to stall into this game and get farmed up. He's just finished off his Muramana. But with that slight lapse in concentration, allowing Anexis to pick up the Baron, it's back on its head again. Anexis have the advantage here, Stress.
Yeah, and now Extinct found a target that he couldn't melt through quite as fast as he would have liked to. He was actually attacking his Arxis for most of that fight, and he just wasn't dying. With the Spirit Visage, Blade of the Ruined King, and the rest of the Trundle kit, he was just so difficult to kill. That Frozen Domain was, that increased health regeneration that he has, and the effects of the healing from that Spirit Visage, from all of the lifesteal that he has, was just so difficult to kill, and he's nearly finished around Anduin's Omen as well. So we're seeing this Trundle pick start to come into its element.
Very, very true, and that's what I mean before I said that Trundle is deceptively strong. He can be on, below 50% health. He looks like a free kill. Then Subjugate is popped alongside the Blade of the Ruined King and the Frozen Domain, and you're like, uh-oh, actually he's a very strong troll, and I'm about to die. It's very hard to kill him, and even though his score doesn't look anything, amazing, the fact is, he is constantly being a burden to Heimerdingers Colossi. They don't want to focus him, but at the same time, they don't want to ignore him because he's doing a lot of damage, and he's really being a thorn in their side. Now with Baron, they're going to push the mid. They do have a tower discrepancy. They're behind by one tower, but with the Baron buff, they're going to try and equalize that one up very quickly.
Yeah, and you can see with that Iceborne Gauntlet, they're just landing those Mystic shots on the front of Heimerdingers Colossi, and it just makes moving around even in their own base, very difficult to do. You're going to see the minion wave even get stalled out here as he starts the attack. You can see it doesn't even get to the top of the stairs, and most of the front 3 minions are down, and it's just so much CC and slows coming out from Anexis. They're trying to just catch on to whatever they can, and they're trying to just whittle down the members of Heimerdingers Colossi. They're not really putting a lot of damage onto the turret. That's one thing you do sacrifice with this blue Ezreal build, is you don't quite have so much flat damage on your auto attacks, and they might even get a counter engage here from Heimerdingers Colossi, but they are going to disengage with that Frozen Domain and the Pillar of Ice. So, not really able to get as much as they would have liked to have done there, Anexis.
I said that they were a tower discrepancy by 1, but then I wasn't taking into account the scumbag spectator bug, which says that they have an extra tower, so they're actually even. Trying to push this bot tower though, so I apologise, make the correction there. Wildcards does go out. You can see the picket card has been locked in as well. They've landed it onto Willida, who's going to go down instantly. Stranglethorn's nicely done there. He's going to be able to land the Cataclysm on towards Celevo, who's now trying his best to run away from this danger, from this threat, physically pick up a double kill. Can he make it one more? Can he go for the triple kill? You're going to have Xaxus, very, very tanky, but he has 5 players just brutalizing him from the backside. And Fizz is so strong, 15 and 5. So we've had team fights going backwards and forwards, and Nexus looking good. And now Heimerdingers Colossi come back with a vengeance as strong as possible. Look at the health bars. No one is flashing up red. Looked very, very strong there. Twisted Fate and Zyra, the only 2 remaining players. And now Heimerdingers Colossi are going to try and push down this mid very aggressively.
Yeah, and Extinct that time did find a squishy target and managed to obliterate him instantly from that fight, and that's what they've been looking for in these fights. They didn't get it in the last one, and now Heimerdingers Colossi. Did Anexis have Baron buff for that fight? I know they had it when they were pressuring mid, but I didn't quite catch on and see. Gold card's going to land onto Maluno, but it's not really going to be enough, and the playful Trickster over the True Shot Barrage keeps Extinct alive.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it may have just worn out, but if it was up, it wasn't up for long. So you are going to have the True Shot Barrage coming through, but as you say, Playful Trickster again paying out dividends, and they have managed to pick up the middle inhib. This is still well and truly game on. If you have a look at the gold difference, pretty much negligible at this point. Mid inhib down though is going to give global presence and the global advantage to Heimerdingers Colossi until that's back up again. But we have seen that Heimerdingers Colossi have a tendency sometimes to let their foot go off the gas, or to just kind of lose that concentration. This is going to allow Nexus to pick up the Drake, and now we're going to get some more gold. And I honestly don't want to rag on Willita too much here, but he has been caught with his pants down a couple times. He had a beautiful opening, a beautiful start in this game, 4-1 in the laning phase, but he has been caught a couple times from Chum the Waters. And if he continues to do so, even with the Arcane Shift, even with his barrier up, he is still going to die very fast. Because as soon as Heimerdingers Colossi saw the Chum the Waters landed on Ezreal, they just pounced. They knew there was a problem. Here comes Destiny, though, from Twisted Fate towards bot lane. Could we see another repeat here of the Great Escape from Extinct? Is he going to turn around and just obliterate Ezreal? Here we go. Oh my god, the damage is just cataclysmic. He's gonna pick up the kill on towards Ezreal. That was basically a 1v3 at the end. They get the shutdown, but again, stress the damage. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was wow. That damage is all I have to say on that. Is the crazy amounts of damage coming out from Extinct. And apologies to guys in chat, of course, you guys have the Baron timer up on your screen. We don't have that luxury, and I'd kind of slipped my mind exactly when I hadn't written it down. Maluno is going in on this Celebrate, forced to use that Zhonya's Hourglass. And Maluno is actually going to catch on towards this one for the kill. Will they be able to pick it up on Zassus? He is so tanky right now and able to start to get away. But the rest of Heimerdingers Colossi are chasing him up on this. They will take him down. So Heimerdingers Colossi now have the advantage of numbers now on the map. They are going to catch on towards Leo from Korea. Will land a slow. Maluno is putting a lot of damage, but not that fast, onto Leo of Korea. I thought he was taking damage. It was actually not as much as I'd anticipated, and this has turned into somewhat of a slow chase down on Leo of Korea. And I thought he was going to die a lot faster than he was, and it actually... Oh, that was a little bit funny to watch. Fizz, meanwhile, has been chasing in towards the base. Apologies for that, I was watching the slowest chase down in the world, but Fizz doing some work.
It was just like two slabs of concrete rubbing against each other. Eventually one is going to disintegrate, but it could take many years, and eventually he did fall down. But lots of things happening there. Two players are still in the death chamber for Anexis, just the one which is Extinct for Heimerdingers Colossi. And I feel that Corki is now catching up. He is now getting to the point where he's going to do a lot of damage. So it's not just Extinct that's the threat anymore. Fair enough, Jarvan is on 5 for 1, but as you just saw previously, he's not doing a great deal of damage. But Corki with the Last Whisper, and also the Muramana on top of the Bloodthirster and Brutalizer is doing a lot of damage. They're maybe going to try a Desperation Baron here. They know that Jarvan is going to be back towards spawn, but he is making ground very quickly. They do not have the Zyra, and thus do not have the Stranglethorns at their disposal here. Wilder is at the front lines. There goes the Paranoia from Nocturne. Is it going to be enough though? The True Shot Barrage just narrowly missing on towards Freeze, who would have felt a lot earlier. Managed to put some damage out. The Zhonya's Hourglass has been used from Twisted Fate here. Celeber turning this one back around. It's a 1-for-2 exchange, looking to take down Maluno here. Fizz is on his way, but will it be too little too late? Williter and Celeber will take down the kill, with Zaxxas actually picking that one up. And here comes Fizz from the side. So, can they make something happen? Baron is still alive. They didn't manage to get the buff on top of everything else, but they're going to be moving back towards it again. And I feel that this could be very dangerous for Williter. He's been caught by the Chum the Waters.
Extinct managing to get that from all the way the other side of the red pit. Sorry, I was just a little bit... Apologies for that outburst. Managed to connect on to Williter with that Chum the Waters. He's actually going to go in on this. Will pick up. Celeber actually decimates him. There's the Zhonya's Hourglass through the Zyra ultimate. Williter gets dropped so low. Nearly picks up another kill off that. Has delayed them. Baron has now regen. The inhibitor is going to come up soon, but bot inhibitor is getting pressured by the minions. And Heimerdingers Colossi are going to trade Baron, but they will take down that inhibitor by the looks of it, unless Nocturne can get there. No, the damage is just going to be enough. Mid inhibitor respawns, bot inhibitor goes down, and Baron goes to Anexis.
Oh, Anexis are looking very strong. It was a really nice skill shot to land the Chum the Waters on towards Williter there, but do you think it may have been a bit more useful using that in the Baron pit and trying to basically keep them away from the Baron for longer? Because ultimately it just did damage to the AD carry. If he'd landed it in the Baron pit, it could have done damage to everybody.
Yeah, maybe. That might have been a good... yeah, I think on second thoughts that probably would have been a little bit more beneficial, but I think he thought he could catch on towards Ezreal and take him out right there and then that would deter them from doing Baron a little bit more. But nevertheless, it was a... it got a random outburst from me, so...
It was an awesome skill shot, there's definitely no denying that, but Ezreal actually cleansed as well, and I was going to say he doesn't have cleanse, he's got barrier, but of course he does have the Mercurial, he's got the Quicksilver Sash component, so he was able to cleanse out of that damage, and very nicely done by him. You do also have the Black Cleaver now finished off onto Corki, so again, going back to what I was saying before, he is going to be putting down a lot of pain now. It's not just going to be Extinct they need to watch out for, who's, oh my god, Void Staff, Lichbane, Zhonya's Hourglass, and Rabadon's Death Cap. That equates to 701 ability power on that Fizz. And we saw before, Extinct's escaping skills are second to none. He is a boss on this fish. They're not going to be pushing down the mid lane. They are against the Baron up. Anexis here, but doesn't look like they're going to be actually giving any credit. Here comes the Paranoia from the side, going to be jumping on towards Free. He takes half his damage already. Half his health has been taken down already. Here comes the Crescendo, just landing on towards Nocturne and also Zyro. Wilder is going down very low. The Staying Light has been popped as well on towards the players. Salva is going to go down. Fizz jumping on to the AD carry, so both the carries have been eliminated here. Heimerdingers Crosslight now chasing down the giant troll, who's going to fall as well. That was a 3-for-0 exchange, and Anexis actually initiated that fight stress, horribly backfiring. That could be the game.
I don't think that was the best initiate from them at all. Their team composition does not lend well in these 5v5 fights. They much prefer the split fights that they've been trying to get themselves into all game. All of the members of Heimerdingers Colossi in that mid lane. I'm not sure about that engagement, to be honest, and I think Heimerdingers Colossi might just take this one home here.
Honestly, I agree completely. They did manage to get Freeze down to 50% HP, but then he just Valkyrie'd away. Look at the damage from Extinct again. Oh, playful Trickster. Just rubbing salt in the wounds. Going to be jumping back on towards Overpower as well. Chum the Wallets has landed. That is going to be a free kill on towards Nocturne. Meanwhile, Leo from Korea is going to try something sensational. He has 10 seconds to wait before his AD and AP carries are up, but that is not going to be enough time. This is going to go 2-0 to Heimerdingers Colossi, but what an awesome game that was, Stress. The end goal difference is 300 in favor of Anexis, but they lose the game.
Yeah, and Heimerdingers Colossi showed us the resolve they showed last week, where in the finals they went 0-2 down, came back, took 3 games in a row against absolute legends, and Anexis looking very strong for both games in that, and no, nothing bad on Anexis' part at all. They definitely played a brilliant set of games against Heimerdingers Colossi, but last week's winners coming back in style this week. But will their fate end up the same as British Tea Time, where last week they, came in the winners, but only ended up getting through to the semi-finals? Lots on the line for all of these teams, and we're seeing every week teams are just shuffling around the pack. Nobody is being able to dominate week on week. Will Heimerdingers Colossi be the first team to do so?